essentials: a bat, a pitch, a ball, some fielders, and plenty of refreshments. Enjoy the cricket with Angostura Chill. Angostura Chill, the official refreshment partner of the Hero CPL T20.
Get the kind of value you'll love that's unmatched at Courts now. We're unmatched in quality and prices. Buy any item and get up to 30% off the second item of same or equal value store-wide. When you shop with Ready Finance, you can get it now with no cash and pay over time. Now that's unmatched value. Only at Courts. Bringing value home. Special conditions apply. Promotion runs February 28, 2023.
Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Channel 5 newscast. I'm Carla Berridge. Parliamentary Representative for St. Christopher No. 2, Honorable Masha Henderson, has addressed the recent surge in crime in the communities of Central Bastille. In an address on Wednesday, Minister Henderson said violence is not the answer.
One is just too many. As a community, it is imperative that we become affirmed custodians of our brothers and sisters. Violence is never the answer. Choosing violence depletes the very essence of who we are as a community. Today we are reaping the seeds of broken families, destructive socialization, and peer affiliations that encourage crime. We must not bolster the criminals by staying silent. Let us protect our Central Bastille community by speaking up, by nurturing the youths, and simply recognizing that violence not only destroys the lives of its victims, but also of its assailants.
The address comes following the most recent shooting in which a security guard was shot and killed at the Irishtown Primary School. Minister Henderson made a call for the protection of the Federation's children.
Due to the current criminalities that floored the Central Bastille community recently, the Irishtown Primary School remains closed until further notice. We must protect our children. They must not only be safe, but feel safe. A school is our children's second home, and there is no plausible reason why such a heinous act should occur in the vicinity of any school.
She noted that the government is taking measures to combat and alleviate the rise of crime on the island and outlined some measures that have been crafted to assist in this endeavor.
Arrangements have been made to provide additional security, particularly to the Central Bastille communities, in the interim. We intend to embark on a series of town hall meetings where residents will get the opportunity to express their concerns and make recommendations as to how we can continue towards rebuilding a brighter and safer Central Bastille. I intend to do all that is necessary to ensure that Central Bastille continues to remain one of the best communities to live and to work.
Minister Henderson used the opportunity to extend condolences to families and friends who have lost loved ones during the current and unfortunate influx of crime in our community. The Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force has dismissed claims that the victim of the homicide that took place on Tuesday, 14th February, was a witness in a criminal matter. A statement from the police said, quote, the information being circulated on social media stating that Delia Hanley was a witness in any prior criminal matter is false. The Violent Crime Unit is presently following every lead to develop this investigation and to pinpoint the motive and possible suspect or suspects in this homicide, end quote. The police also added that upon responding to the report, there were no gunshots fired by any member of the security forces. Persons with any information pertaining to this homicide investigation are asked to call the Violent Crime Unit at 465-2241 or 662-3468. Your information will be handled with strict confidentiality. The regulations governing the operation of the long-standing Citizenship by Investment program in St. Kitts and Nevis were recently amended with elements aimed at benefiting local businesses and entrepreneurs and nationals in the diaspora. There are 3 options for innovators at home and in the diaspora to benefit and raise capital through CBI, according to the new regulations. They are becoming designated as approved public benefactors, the public benefit option, where Cabinet can allocate public benefits units to be sold on the international market and by sale of private homes. According to head of the CBI unit, Michael Martin, under the approved public benefactors option, the applicant has to, quote, prove that his or her business idea can bring substantial benefit to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, maximize local employment, and transfer technology and local capacity building, then that business idea will be considered, end quote. Meanwhile, under the public benefit option, units on the international market can be sold for no less than US $175,000 per unit. Purchasers of public benefit units can then apply to the CBI unit to become citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. Local contractors and developers can also benefit from the new regulations if they apply to have their proposed residential or commercial developments designated by Cabinet as approved developments. Once approved, real estate units can be sold on the international market for no less than US $200,000 per unit. In the final option, homeowners who wish to sell their single-family private dwelling home or a single-family condominium unit can apply to the CBI Board of Governors to have their home designated an approved private home. Such homes can be sold for no less than US $400,000 to persons wishing to apply for St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship. According to Martin, the CBI program is being designed for all citizens to benefit as well as international investors. Applications can be submitted to the Citizenship by Investment Unit at the Ministry of Finance. More information can be given by calling 869-467-1474, by email info@sknciu.com, or by visiting www.ciu.gov.kn. Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Right Honorable Dr. Denzel Douglas, attended the 17th special meeting of the Council for Foreign and Community Relations COFCOR in Nassau, Bahamas on Wednesday. This forum offered the opportunity to the region's top diplomats to realize one of COFCOR's main objectives, to coordinate foreign policy. In addition to receiving reports from the chairs and co-chairs of subcommittees emanating from the 9th Summit of the Americas, foreign ministers received reports on preparation for upcoming global events and provided input on multiple multilateral initiatives to advance the development of small island developing states. Discussions centered on key priorities for the CARICOM, including food security, climate action, and financing for development. The ministers repeated the call for the transformation of the international financial architecture to create greater access to development funds and for a multidimensional index that accurately reflects the realities of ZIZ. Minister Douglas supported his regional counterparts in advocating for enhanced assistance in being able to move renewable energy projects to a bankable stage. After the break, St. Kitts, Nevis and Statia seek to increase inter-island tourism, and International Caregivers Day observed. Stay with us.
Here are your Hot Goods Value Mart IG Value Club Valentine's specials.
Running February 9 to the 22nd.
Our Value Club Blue Tag specials: IGA and Essential Everyday Honey Beer, $15.99. Quaker Granola Bars, just $11.99. Or Ida Fries, $18.99. Breyers Premium Ice Cream, $26.99. Tide Liquid Detergent, $34.99. Suavitel Fabric Softener, just $19.99. And now our very low weekly
Value deals. Post Honey Bunches of Oats, $12.99. Snack Pack Puddings, $5.99. IGA and Essential Everyday Cream Cheese, $6.49. Welch's Grape Juices, $15.99. Mr. Clean Liquid Cleaner, $12.99. Dial Liquid Hand Soap, $5.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart. Tell them in Spanish.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí a Value Mart.
Want to get away? Now you can.
Stop
standing in long ATM lines to withdraw cash. Use your national debit or black cards to complete a wide variety of transactions at supermarkets, variety stores, gas stations, pharmacies, and more. Shop online at the most popular websites and stores for quality brands using your national debit or black cards. And take back your time to enjoy all the things that you love to do. Remember, instead of waiting in long ATM lines to withdraw cash, use your national bank cards today.
National Bank, always here.
We embarked a couple of years ago on a transformation program, and that is essentially to push the company into the 21st century. We're seeking to continue to be relevant, continue to be the leader in the business community, because if you stand still, somebody else is moving ahead of you.
We now employ about 110 persons on Nevis across the group. Back then we probably had half of them.
TDC impacted people's lives. Have about a handful of people who will tell you, TDC is my life.
Supporting stakeholders, obviously very, very strong and committed staff, and customers who believe in us.
Well, the scholarship program is, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best in St. Kitts.
Almost every year you get a student who says, one day, I'm going to be Prime Minister.
I was interviewing for the Warrell Tyson Scholarship Program. Eventually was told a few weeks later that I was a successful recipient. Those soft skills, I think, were tremendous and still serve me even up to today.
Welcome back. The St. Kitts Tourism Authority is seeking to increase inter-island travel between the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis and Statia. A delegation from Statia was welcomed at the Port Zante Marina and chauffeured to the St. Kitts Marriott Resort. Minister of Tourism Honorable Masha Henderson gave a brief synopsis of the meeting.
Today we're at the Marriott meeting with a delegation out of Centre Station. We're going to be sitting down and discussing ways and means how we can partner in the industry, how we can work together in pushing both industries here in St. Kitts, of course, and in Centre Station.
As she is being supported by other tourism officials, Deputy Chief Executive Officer at the St. Kitts Tourism Authority, Melnesia Marshall, also gave potential outcomes of the meeting.
With the recent introduction of the Makane Ferry, we will be discussing ways in which we can partner to market the destinations. As we know, Centre Station has always been a friend of the destination, and with the closeness and the proximity of the islands, we now have connectivity, which allows us here in St. Kitts to also visit those islands, but also we can add value to those visitors who may be visiting St. Kitts in terms of an offering that allows them to go and visit the other destinations, maybe for even a day or a few hours.
Recent introduction of Makana ferry services was the basis of Friday's meeting and discussion. Local home care provider Care Nursing Agency recognized and celebrated caregivers during National Caregivers Day, celebrated around the world on February 17th each year. The agency held a brunch on Friday for caregivers at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort and also launched the Caregivers Association. Owner of Care Nursing Agency Keisha Rollins explained the rationale behind starting the association.
We follow this as a great initiative because we realize that caregivers, their voice are not heard, their voice are not heard, and sometimes they're overlooked by sometimes the nurse and other health members of the team. So we decided to do something about it. Caregivers are very important in this federation, and they go unnoticed because there are many caregivers in the home, family caregivers, friends, loved ones. Some persons don't get paid, they do it religiously, neighbors, by extension, other family members. And so therefore, we want to recognize all caregivers across the board, whether it's a professional caregiver who's being paid, a family caregiver, or a friend or neighbor.
Rollins also invited caregivers and nurses to join the association. The National Caregivers Day ceremony was held under the theme celebrating the persons who make a difference every day. Junior Minister of Gender Affairs Honorable Iselene Phillip has expressed thanks and appreciation to the Taiwan ICDF for its generous support following her participation in the Empower Women, Empower LAC Latin America and the Caribbean Forum held in Taipei, Taiwan by the Taiwan ICDF earlier this week. The forum brought together ministers of governments, NGOs and women entrepreneurs from countries across LAC, where the Taiwan ICDF funds projects for women's empowerment. Senator Phillip participated in panel discussions to highlight the significant impact that the ICDF's investment makes on socio-economic development. She also met with multiple ministers to advocate for continued investments in future cycles of the Women's Employment Entrepreneurship and Financial Inclusion Project. In a post to her Facebook page, Minister Phillip stated, in St. Kitts and Nevis, the Women's Employment Entrepreneurship and Financial Inclusion Project is sponsored and implemented in partnership with the Department of Gender Affairs St. Kitts and supported by the Small Business Development Center. Mrs. Violet Clark, a female entrepreneur in Nevis with a small business that locally produces hot sauces and condiments, attended to exhibit her products and to share how the education, training and financial support from this program helped to improve her skills and scale up her business. This ICDF funded project helps to promote gender equality, stimulate economic growth and reduce inequalities by giving women the tools and resources to self-determine and sustain their livelihoods. The Department of Marine Resources launched its first in a series of capacity development workshops for staff last week at the Department of Marine Resources conference room to focus on the implementation of underexploited species in the fishing industry. The first training session focused on diamond-backed squid fishing, a species of squid identified as underutilized in the local fishing industry. While speaking on the benefits of the training, facilitator and fisheries assistant at the Department of Marine Resources, Karim Sadler, said that the department is seeking new avenues that can help fishers turn their traditional fishing into a more lucrative catch by making use of underexploited species like diamondback squid. The second phase of the workshop will focus on diamondback squid catching techniques, processing and packaging, gear and equipment training, as well as experimental fishing trips with live demonstrations. The training will wrap up with a diamondback squid value-added product making, taste testing, and presentation. Coming up in regional news, Antigua seeks to curb